Why are these lids so uncooperative today? Hey there, happy Monday everybody. Easter really snuck up on me this year, and I decided I needed an ice cream flavor for Easter. So I thought about jelly beans, which is, sort of a good standby candy, and I also thought about Cadbury cream eggs, which is probably my favorite, although it's been so long since I've had one, who knows if they're still good or if they were ever any good. But I settled on probably the most iconic of the Easter candies, marshmallow Peeps. I tried to find the little chicks, but I could not find them, and so we're gonna end up with bunnies. And starting with our usual cup of heavy cream and cup of whole milk. We'll get our pinch of salt in early, and looking at the sugar content for Peeps, it looks like this package has 61 grams, which is basically a third of a cup. So we will augment that with a third of a cup of granulated sugar, which is good because I didn't want it all to be Peeps because of the gelatin in the marshmallows. So I think this will be a nice balance. We will get our squeeze of vanilla bean paste, and we'll go ahead and just put that up to a simmer. Now, since Peeps are really just marshmallows, we could use mini marshmallows here, or even just marshmallow fluff, but I have decided to choose the most destructive means possible, and these guys are taking a swim. And as a demonstration of my power over these Peeps, the other four get impaled. So I'm just going to let this continue to simmer until the Peeps break down. Those two have already given up, so we might unimpale them? Is that a word? I'm making it one. So now there's 6 Peeps taking a swim, and 2 sitting in a hot tub. And we'll just continue to cook this over that simmer until those marshmallows start to break down. I'm not entirely sure how long this will take. I'm guessing 10 minutes, but we'll check in occasionally. So it's been about 5 minutes, and you can tell that the marshmallows are really starting to give off a lot of the air that's in them. If you're not familiar with how marshmallows are made, it's basically sugar that you get really hot and then whip it up with gelatin, and that helps it to hold the shape, and it really works a lot of air into it. So I'm not surprised that it's a little foamy, so I'm just going to give these guys a little stir. You can see that they're really starting to break down. A lot of that yellow sugar is coming off. I'm thinking that these eyes may not dissolve. So when you eat this ice cream, there may be little bunny eyes looking back at you. And that kind of makes me sad now. Alright, that was just about 10 minutes. Melting Peeps is not an exact science, so your mileage may vary. We'll just get these poor guys off of their skewers. They just fell right out. Now, I don't know that this has to be a custard because of the gelatin, but I'm going to do it anyway. So these are 4 egg yolks that I am tempering, and they go right back in. And as usual, just go ahead and cook this over low heat. We're going to cook it for 1 to 2 minutes. You'll be able to feel when the custard starts to thicken. I'm not too concerned about the little pieces of Peeps from the little impaled guys. I think they'll break down during this last bit of cooking. Okay, that's 90 seconds, and I'm good with that. So go ahead and kill the heat and slide it off of the heat. Okay, and now we can go ahead and strain. I forgot that we'd be straining, so I don't know that those eyeballs will be in the final ice cream. It looks like they're all being caught in the strainer, so slightly less awkward than anticipated. And we'll go ahead and add enough heavy cream to bring us up to our 3 cups. That should be 1 more cup of cream. Well, that was perfect. Let's give this a stir. I'm actually really pleased with the color. I wanted something very pastel yellow, and I think this will be perfect. We'll go ahead and lid this up and get it in the fridge. Okay, the ice creaminator is chilled, as is our Peeps ice cream mix. So we'll go ahead and pour this in and go ahead and churn it on up. We'll go ahead and get this scooped into a container. Now you may notice that I'm not filling it quite as full as I usually would. Basically, I don't want any ice cream touching the lid, and I will show you why after this has about an hour in the freezer. There is a reason that I left the Peeps ice creams a little bit empty, and that is because I have some yellow decorating sugar. I thought I had sanding sugar, but apparently I just had decorating sugar. And to sort of emulate that crunchy sugar on the exterior of Peeps, I'm just going to sprinkle some on top. And my concern was if I did this while it was still at soft serve before I had a chance to freeze a little bit more, that it would just sort of melt in and not stay crispy. So we're just going to sprinkle some of this sugar on here. Then we'll throw our lids back on. Maybe. And I'm just gonna give them a little shake to try and get that to be a fairly even level. And then these will go back into the freezer to freeze all the way hard. Okay, it's time to look at our Peeps ice cream. So it looks like the sugar held together, none of it melted in. I can tell it has a nice crunchy texture on the top. That's a pretty smooth scoop. But uh-oh, what's this? You didn't think I was just going to make yellow Peeps ice cream, did you? I mean, it came together in pink and yellow. So we had to do both. So I actually did make the pink slightly different. So the pink Peeps ice cream is all Peeps. There's no sugar to offset the gelatin. The yellow is what we made yesterday or earlier in this video. And I figure we might as well go ahead and compare the two. So both of them scooped pretty nicely. It looks like their texture's good. There's nothing like peeling off as I scrape across it. They kept good scoop lines, especially this pink. But we'll go ahead and we'll taste our yellow. Make sure that we get some of that sugar in there. So that sugar did stay nice and crispy. It does sort of give you that texture that you'd be missing otherwise. As far as flavor, it's kind of bland, actually. It really doesn't taste a whole lot different from my vanilla ice cream, except that there's a little bit less vanilla because I didn't put as much in, hoping to get some of the marshmallow flavor out of the marshmallows. I guess you could say the flavor is really mellow. Marshmallow. Let's see if the pink turned out any better, since it's a little more peep forward. And I'll be honest with you, the pink is even more bland because I did not add any vanilla to it, thinking that the marshmallow would do the heavy lifting. So it's really just a sweet cream flavor. Not the best I've ever made. Texture-wise, I do think the yellow beats out the pink, but they're both very smooth and creamy. That decorating sugar does make a difference as far as just giving some kind of contrast to the overall experience. We might as well, we're right here, we might as well mix the two together. And no, there's really no difference. This was kind of disappointing. I won't lie, I'm disappointed in how this turned out. I know Peeps are kind of controversial because they really are just marshmallows, and a lot of people don't care for them as far as, just eating a marshmallow as a candy. I don't hate them. Like I said, I do really like the idea and the execution of having that decorating sugar on top. Like I said, adds a nice crunch. That will probably be something that I try again in the future. That would not be a bad idea for my creme brulee ice cream as opposed to doing the caramelized sugar that we did last time. So overall, would I make this again? I don't think so. It could be a good base to build some other flavor on top of, but was it really worth melting those marshmallows in? I don't think so. Anyway, I appreciate you all joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful week and a very happy Easter. Bye!